Popcaan. You know the name. The hits, the OVO cosign, the global stages. But before all of that, before the Grammys, before the headlines, he was Gaza, Vybz Kartel's protege, the chosen one. So what happened? How did the crown prince of dancehall go from chanting Gaza Mise to building his own empire with Unruly? Was it betrayal, ambition, or something deeper? This video breaks down the real story of Popcaan's split from the Gaza Empire. What led to it, how Kartel responded from behind bars, and what it ultimately cost Popcaan on his rise to global fame. If you've ever asked yourself, why did Popcaan leave Gaza? This is the answer. In dancehall, allegiances aren't just affiliations, they're bloodlines. To rise in this world, you often have to swear loyalty to a sound, a street, a squad, or a king. And for years, no king stood taller in dancehall than Vybz Kartel. But no prince shined brighter than Popcaan. Andre Hugh Sutherland, known globally as Popcaan, didn't just inherit Kartel's cosign, he inherited Gaza's hopes. He was meant to be the continuation of Kartel's reign, the living echo of the world boss's legacy. But what happens when a prince decides not to inherit the throne? What followed wasn't a beef, a diss war, or a scandal. It was quieter, but somehow more powerful. A silent split, a strategic departure, a decision that would redefine Popcaan not just as an artist, but as a man. This is the untold story of what happened to Popcaan after Gaza, and why that decision still echoes through dancehall today. Chapter 1. The Crown Prince of Gaza. In the late 2000s, Gaza wasn't just a place, it was a movement, an ideology, a cultural stronghold based in Portmore, Jamaica, created and led by Vybz Kartel. It was built on raw lyricism, street wisdom, and a relentless commitment to authenticity. Kartel, the world boss, was at his peak, crafting new flows, pushing boundaries, and shaping the entire genre's sound. Among his recruits was a skinny youth from St. Thomas with a distinctive voice and wild energy. Popcaan entered Gaza not just as another hopeful artist, but as a revelation. His high-pitched tone, melodic instincts, and teenage charm made him an immediate standout. Under Kartel's mentorship, Popcaan dropped back-to-back anthems. Dream spoke to the aspirations of a young, hungry generation. Gangsta City captured the darkness and beauty of street life. And Clark's, that was a cultural bomb. The song didn't just become a hit. It reignited a fashion movement, turning British desert boots into a Jamaican statement of pride. But more than the music, Popcaan represented the next chapter of Gaza. Kartel himself told fans, "Him a go run the place when me gone." That wasn't just praise, it was a prophecy. Kartel was grooming a successor, and for a time, Popcaan seemed destined to carry the Gaza banner forward. He had the charisma, the hustle, and the hits. But what he didn't know yet, and what Gaza didn't expect, was that Popcaan's ambitions were bigger than any crew, even Gaza. Chapter 2. The Silent Fracture. In 2011, everything changed. Vybz Kartel was arrested on charges of murder. Eventually, he was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. The Gaza Empire suddenly found itself decapitated. For many in the dancehall community, the reaction was simple. Circle the wagons, support Kartel, and keep Gaza alive in his absence. Artists like Tommy Lee Sparta shouted, "Free World Boss," from every stage. Loyalists kept Kartel's name alive in songs, social media, and interviews. It was about solidarity. Even if Kartel was behind bars, Gaza would live on. But Popcaan's response was different. He didn't diss Kartel. He didn't publicly walk away, but he didn't vocally defend him either. He didn't post the same "Free World Boss" slogans with the same intensity as others. He didn't make songs pledging allegiance. Instead, he moved in silence, slowly detaching from the empire that raised him. Fans noticed, critics speculated, the streets whispered. Was Popcaan abandoning Gaza? Kartel, still making music from prison, began dropping bars that sounded like veiled disses. Tracks like Informer Fi Dead sent chills through the community. He didn't name names, but the subtext was clear. Someone close had betrayed him. Many believed it was aimed at Popcaan. But Popcaan didn't respond. No war dubs, no back and forth. He simply kept moving. By 2014, the split was undeniable. Popcaan signed with OVO Sound, the record label run by Canadian superstar Drake. He had left Gaza. Not with fireworks, but with silence and strategy. Chapter 3. Building Unruly from the ground up. With Gaza behind him, Popcaan had a new identity to shape and a global audience to win. He founded his own brand, Unruly. It wasn't just a crew or label, it was a philosophy. Unruly stood for freedom, self-determination, and refusing to be boxed in. It was a declaration. Popcaan was no longer anyone's artist, he was his own man. This new chapter saw a shift in his music. His first major album, Where We Come From, 2014, was a sonic departure. It was smoother, more melodic, and more introspective. Tracks like Everything Nice balanced ghetto realism with emotional vulnerability. Love You Bad and Addicted introduced him to a crossover audience hungry for Caribbean flavor with universal themes. Then came Forever, 2018, solidifying his global status. Collaborations with international stars like Jamie D6, Burna Boy, Giggs, and later Drake himself opened new markets. His sound expanded. Dancehall fused with Afrobeat, hip-hop, and even indie pop textures. He was no longer confined to the island. He was a global citizen of sound. But with expansion came criticism. Some dancehall purists accused him of diluting the genre. Others said he abandoned the streets that made him. There was even chatter that he sold out, trading rawness for radio play, trading loyalty for leverage. Still, numbers don't lie. Popcaan sold out global venues. His YouTube views soared. His OVO affiliation brought him into the orbit of one of the most influential music collectives on earth. And yet, through it all, he still chanted Unruly as a reminder. This path wasn't handed to him. He carved it himself. Chapter 4. The Loyalty Dilemma. Even today, when Kartel fans scream Gaza Feel Life, there's a pause when Popcaan's name comes up. A moment of conflicted respect. He's acknowledged as talented, maybe even brilliant, but some still question his loyalty. For them, loyalty means staying, even when it hurts, even when the throne is empty and the kingdom is in ruin. But Popcaan's version of loyalty was different. He stayed loyal to growth, to his dream, to the younger version of himself who once said, "Mi hafi mekit." And in some ways, that's more dangerous than sticking around out of duty, because staying might have meant standing still. Popcaan didn't betray Gaza. He didn't diss Kartel. He didn't disrespect the legacy. He just refused to be trapped by it. In doing so, he did something Vybz Kartel couldn't. He achieved freedom. Artistic freedom, physical freedom, business freedom. While Kartel remains behind bars, still the lyrical powerhouse but forever frozen in time, Popcaan keeps moving forward, evolving, expanding, experimenting. Chapter 5. A Legacy Rewritten. Today, Popcaan stands as one of dancehall's most influential and consistent artists of the past decade. He's proven that you don't have to be chained to a legacy to honor it. He represents a different kind of success, one not defined by clicks or cosigns, but by transformation. He went from crown prince to self-made king, from the depths of St. Thomas to arenas in London and Lagos, from dream to skeleton Cartier. His catalog speaks for itself. His business moves are calculated, and his influence unmistakable. A whole new wave of artists, from Skillibeng to Coffee, operate in a world Popcaan helped shape. He made it okay to be melodic, to be international, to be emotionally honest in dancehall. Still, the question lingers. Did he leave too soon? Could Gaza have lived on longer if Popcaan had stayed? Or did he do exactly what a true leader should? Know when to walk away and build something new? The third way. There are many ways to leave a kingdom. You can be exiled, thrown out by force. You can be overthrown, defeated by rivals. Or you can walk out the front gate with your name intact, your dignity preserved, and your vision burning bright. Popcaan chose the third, and in doing so, he offered a new model for dancehall. One where freedom is more valuable than fame and evolution more powerful than tradition. Gaza made him. But Unruly is who he truly is, and history is still catching up with what that means.